Peace be with you. I usually make videos about Islam and religion, but today I wanted to make a video about a medical condition called excited delirium, because I read an article today about a gentleman that died in police custody in Rochester, New York, about 5 months ago. Now people claim that he was asphyxiated by a spit hood that cops put on him, but that's impossible. You can take a spit hood, you can buy it online, you can put it on your head and run a marathon, and it will not suffocate you. Spit hoods cannot suffocate a person. They're designed not to suffocate a person. Also, positional asphyxia, meaning somebody pressing their knee into your back, is very, very unlikely to produce death by asphyxiation. In general, what kills people in these situations is what we call excited delirium. So I wanted to make this video, and hopefully if a police officer, an EMT watches this video, they can get a little bit more understanding of what they're supposed to do. I've been working in emergency rooms for the last 7 or 8 years, and I've seen quite a few of these cases. These cases are only going to become more common now that the stimulant epidemic is ramping up. Unfortunately, we as doctors have again contributed to this stimulant epidemic by overprescribing Adderall for all kinds of stupid reasons. And Adderall on a dose-dependent basis has the exact same effect as methamphetamines, meth, crystal, ice. But that's another topic. So people high on meth or PCP are going to exhibit what we call excited delirium. Not all the time, but many a time. Cops are very, very likely to come across these people. They are going to behave violently. They're going to be bizarre. They're going to be very agitated, and they're going to be very, very paranoid. Unfortunately, cops are going to get called on these people because they behave very bizarrely, and because they're acting like that, they need to be restrained. They need to be taken off the streets because they are a threat to themselves and the public. Unfortunately, once you go to restrain these people, they're going to become even more agitated, and it's just kind of a runaway problem from there on. With excited delirium, the cardiovasculars is like revving your engine. It's just like if you have your engine at 6,000 RPMs and you're holding it there. When I get these patients in the emergency room, I put them on a cardiac monitor and I watch their heart rates stay at like 180, 190 beats per minute, sustained, which is very, very fast. It's like basically running a sprint the whole time. The body is just not designed to handle such stress for a prolonged period of time. I mean, you can just go and watch your heart rate. Now we have heart rate monitors, and you can try to bring your heart rate up to 190 beats per minute. So the heart cannot handle this, and especially in people who do not have good cardiovascular reserve, who don't have a good VO2 max, things like that. These people are not athletes. They are usually drug addicts. Now, not every excited delirium is due to drugs, but a lot of cases are. So what needs to happen with these people is I tend to just sedate them quickly. So this is what I would recommend for the EMTs. People are using ketamine a lot these days. I really don't prefer ketamine for excited delirium. I prefer benzodiazepines, Ativan, if you can stick an IV in them, or if you can give them intramuscular benzos, and sometimes they require large doses, like 8, 10, 12 milligrams of Ativan, and that's my last patient I had to give 9 milligrams of Ativan IV to calm the patient down because the heart rate was in 190s. The patient was hyperthermic. and at that point, there's an arrhythmia waiting to happen. There's complete cardiopulmonary collapse waiting to happen. So you have to calm these people down quickly. And in my opinion, benzos, especially IV benzos, are the best drug. The reason why I don't like ketamine is you really, if you misdose it, you can have these people robo-tripping while they're in excited delirium at the same time, and then it's a big problem. And I've seen people who were administered ketamine out in the field brought into the emergency department just out of their mind, super aggressive, super out of the, paranoid. And I just did not have personal good experiences with it. I can't quote any studies. I'm not even sure if there are any studies. This is just anecdotal from personal experience. So for EMTs, when you see these people, you have to put them on a monitor. You have to calm them down. I would not worry about large doses of benzos. I would start off with like 4 milligrams right away. Of course, you have to use your clinical judgment. If they are truly in excited delirium, if they are truly like that, I would calm them down. I would be ready to control their airway. But a lot of times with benzos, you really don't even need to do that. But, of course, you have to be ready. And then just transport them to the emergency department as soon as possible. That the sedation and all that can be done en route. You need to get them into the ambulance, give them the benzos, IV, IM, whatever's the fastest, and get them to the emergency room. Put them on a monitor, and that is how I kind of dose my benzos. I just dose them every like 3 to 5 minutes, and I watch the patient clinically, and I watch their heart rate, and I watch their that's pretty much it. But if it is true excited delirium, once you sedate them, you will see the heart rate go down, you will see their temperature go down, you will see their rhythm stabilize, and all of that. Generally, with excited delirium, what you're going to see is sinus tachycardia, unless they are about to crash. You're going to see arrhythmias as they start to crash. But in excited delirium, while they're sinus tachy, you still have a chance to sedate these people and help them. With the police, what I would advise is, when you get these calls and you see people running around naked and you have a history that they are a drug user and all of that, before you even approach them, if at all possible, call the ambulance. Have the EMTs on standby, because as soon as you restrain them, they will become more agitated, and they are going to, their heart rate is going to increase, they're going to become even more hyperthermic, and they are at risk of impending cardiovascular collapse at any moment. So you need to restrain them, you need to get them to the EMTs. There's no time to talk to them, there's no time, if you can talk to them, if you can de-escalate them, if you can convince them to get in an ambulance without any force, then that's what you need to do. But if you have to use force, and sometimes that is necessary, as soon as you have these people cuffed, they need to be getting taken care of by a medical professional. So this is not a time to hold them down while telling them to calm down. They can't calm down. They are not in their right mind. You cannot reason with them. Just get them to a medical professional that can help them. You did your job, you restrained them, and that's it. So that's what I wanted to kind of say. We have police officers have to be cognizant that as the stimulant epidemic ramps up, we're going to see this a lot more. And you have to be aware that these people are not in their right state of mind. You cannot talk to them a lot of the times, but if you can, try to de-escalate the situation so a medical professional can get them in an ambulance and they can come to the ER. At any point we can restrain them if we need to, but restraining them only increases their agitation, and then they are super sprinting, judging by their heart rate. If their heart rate was 160s, 170s as they're walking the streets screaming, it's going to become 190s, 200, 210 or more once you restrain them, because they are going to be fighting and they don't have any reserve, and they are going to just collapse. They are going to die, and that's it. So it is excited delirium that is killing these people, not spit hoods, not restraint, although restraint is contributing to it, because these people are going to fight being restrained. And you have to understand, they are going to feel the panic feeling. They're panicked. So every time you're trying to restrain, like a claustrophobic person, for example, they are going to panic. They're going to become more agitated. So you have to sometimes realize that more agitation is not because they are resisting arrest. They are just panicking. And you have to recognize that in excited delirium, or the person is going to die. So that's it. I'm not going to make this video any longer. There's like plenty of research that is getting done on this, but at this point it's kind of that simple, and it can be managed on a very simple basis, as long as you are able to recognize it.